Hello my dear friends, welcome back to another very exciting Star Wars video. It is I coming at you once again, your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And overnight, on Disney Plus, we got a special look at Andor Season 2. More footage, another trailer so to speak. This one takes us behind the scenes, but in the new footage we have some crazy reveals, connections, Easter eggs, and I'm here to break everything down. So let's dive straight into it. We finally have confirmation this is the Gorman Massacre, and we know this because according to the subtitles, the language the protesters are speaking is Gore. Now what's really interesting is that ever since the Gorman Massacre first featured in Star Wars Legends, there was always the implication the Gorman people weren't humans, they were aliens, a non-human sentient species. But in Disney Star Wars canon, the Gorman people are a cultural group of humans. In the expanded universe, Tarkin lands his Star Destroyer over the protesters, killing them. Could you imagine if they did that for live action? That would take cojones, but I don't know if they do it. There is also a question to be asked about Clea's role in the Gorman Massacre. She is seen using a detonator, aggravating the events. Why would she do this? This could very easily be a misdirect. It could just be the way in which the special look was edited together. But if it is for the Gorman Massacre, are they targeting the stormtroopers? Is it a distraction? Or is Lothal trying to manipulate the narrative? Frame the Empire as even worse. It could be a strategic move. And the incident that's about to take place in 2BBY, as we're about to see in Andor Season 2, sets into motion the events that lead to the founding of the Rebel Alliance. Mon Mothma blames Palpatine for the massacre, prompting the Empire to attempt to capture her, but she flees Coruscant and rendezvous with the Ghost Crew. And this brand new special look teases we're going to see that in live action. I have a good feeling the Ghost Crew is going to at least be mentioned, even if they don't show them to us. And a couple of days ago, my dear friends, there was an interesting leak that suggests the mystery farmland planet is Lothal. In a very strange turn of events, one recently revealed action figure has provided a massive clue. The new Black Series figure by Hasbro is titled Cassian Andor, brackets, Signar Test Pilot. This is when Cassian goes undercover and steals a TIE Avenger. In both Star Wars canon and the expanded universe, the Signar Advanced Projects Laboratory is known for producing highly advanced TIE fighters. And as we know from the Season 4 episode Flight of the Defender, the Ghost Crew discovers the Empire has commissioned a new TIE Defender, and the Imperial factory that housed it was based on Lothal. Even though Signar had more than one factory, there's a very good chance Cassian's going to infiltrate the Lothal operation and hijack their TIE Avenger prototype. Considering Tony Gilroy wants to connect things to the wider Star Wars galaxy, I really wouldn't be surprised, especially in light of the Ghost connections. Another noteworthy aspect of this trailer is its connections to The Force Awakens. That's right, the sequel trilogy. Saw Gerrera is using Dakar as a base. A few days ago, I said it might be a possibility of being Dakar, but I thought it was Segra Milo. But no, this is the future Resistance base from Episode 7 and the start of Episode 8. And in this scene, we see Edrio and Benthic. The Tognath brothers from Rogue One share the nickname Two Tubes, or just Tubes. Benthic was once part of Enfy's nest. There were rumours in the first season she might make an appearance. She's the person who gave coaxium to Saw Gerrera and his partisans. So we are going to Dakar. Another very important Force Awakens connection is the random appearance of Senator Laniver Vilecham, a Tarsan politician who would later become part of the New Republic. So his friendship with Mon Mothma makes a lot of sense. He appeared very briefly at the start of Episode 7 when Hosnian Prime is destroyed. We also have a beautiful shot of Yavin 4 base. Also on the agricultural world, which might be Lothal, we see Bresso and B2EMO. They're also teasing the introduction of K2SO. We also see quite a bit of Krennic in this trailer, and Davos Golden, the Chandrillan oligarch who made a deal with Mon Mothma. She agreed to arrange a marriage between her daughter Leda and Skolden's son Stekken in exchange for significant financial support for the Rebel Alliance. A fascinating character to watch, and one who I have many questions about after this trailer, is Cyril Khan. In the scene where Cassian is undercover, the two smile at each other. Does he not recognize Cassian? It also got me thinking, are we ever going to find out who Uncle Harlow is? And on the subject of his girlfriend, Dedra Meero, She's as brutal and complicit as ever before, and this season furthers their relationship. In the new special look, she meets her future mother-in-law, Cyril Khan's mum, Edie. That would be the most awkward family dinner ever. A toxic, controlling mother and an asocial fascist. I wonder the kinds of things they talk about. There is also a small hint that Velsatha, Mon Mothma's cousin, survives into the original trilogy, but is off doing something else. She makes it to Yavin 4 base. I wonder if any survivors who don't appear in Rogue One, who don't appear in the original trilogy, are going to emerge further down the line in the Mandoverse. And we have to talk about the resurgence of Moroff. He was seen in Andor Season 1, but now we see him in a more visible role. I'm sure we're going to see some of Saul's extreme behaviour, and actually quite a few partisans from Rogue One are back. And did you know one of them has a direct connection to the Gorman massacre? One of the survivors, Magva Yarrow. After surviving the massacre, she joined Saul's partisans. The way her people were wiped out caused her to want to take direct action against the new empire. It's pretty tragic, but understandable. It's going to be interesting to see how the different factions of rebels sort of align politically. Some find Mon Mothma's politics too tepid, many of them found the Rebel Alliance was too diplomatic. But that's where what Saw is offering becomes appealing. But an interesting thing to note is at the start of this trailer, Lothal says, "We're not who we used to be when we started." The dynamics are changing, the desperation has intensified, and so the measures the rebels have to take to win become more extreme. Now I need to point out one of the biggest cameo Easter eggs. Speaking from the Emperor's podium, it's not Palpatine, it's not the Grand Vizier Masamida, it's one of his closest advisors of the ruling council, Sate Pestage from Return of the Jedi. There are so many characters like this in Andor, where we know their names, they might have a bit of backstory either in canon or legends, and they're an important part of building up to the original trilogy. This guy was one of Palpatine's closest senior advisors, sometimes acting as a bureaucrat or an emissary in Palpatine's name. After the Clone Wars, he continued to serve the Emperor. He was introduced into the new Star Wars canon in the 2014 novel Tarkin. So he's already in the so-called Rogue One sphere, the Andorverse, as I like to call it. And in the same vein, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Masamida or even Sly Moore. I imagine this show is trying to avoid showing Palpatine himself, because his presence still looms, but it's his underlings who enact his will. And in this way, the aforementioned presence is made grandiose, almost like a malevolent deity, a shadow over the galaxy. The way they've done this is very clever and very deliberate. Overall, the cinematography, the way this looks, it blows my mind. Why can't more Star Wars projects look like this? This show is way too good for Disney+. You put it up against some of the other shows we've gotten over the years, and the quality, the complexity is next level. The attention to detail. I mean, we're literally about to hear the Gorman language. Tony Gilroy loves exploring cultures. Have you noticed? With Ferrix, with Aldani, and now with the Gorman people. I'm so excited. For 4 weeks, starting April 22nd, we're basically getting a mini Star Wars movie every Tuesday. What did you guys think of this special look? I can't wait to break this show down. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.